right now, we are at the point in the NFL season where we finally actually know some things. Going into the year, we all make our predictions. We have no idea. Just no clue. A few weeks in, we think we know things. Right now, we actually know some things. And so I think it's almost impossible to break teams down like 1 through 32. But I think you can put them into tiers. So this is what I did last night. Spent way too much time on it. Just killing myself over, is this team in tier 4, tier 5? So we'll do this. We'll start worst to best. So first tier is what I call time to tank. We're not going to spend much time on these jokers. It's the Browns, the Bears, the Niners, and the Jets. They all have one thing in common. They don't have a quarterback. They might not have a coach either. And I like Hugh Jackson, actually, but Cleveland doesn't have enough players. Chicago has no players. San Francisco's a total mess. And the Jets, I thought they had a defense. They don't. They're dreadful. Those teams are done, finished, write them off. Next year, I don't want to spend any more time on them. This is almost time to tank. Chargers, Colts, Dolphins, Bengals, and Panthers. The Chargers, they've been in every game, but they've lost way too many players due to injury. You can't count on them late in games. Mike McCoy saved his job Thursday night, but that's probably temporarily. And the Colts, I know it's never Andrew Luck's fault. Listen, you just can't ask Andrew Luck to go on national television and beat Brock Osweiler. It's too big of an ask. They're dreadful. They have a bad coach, a bad GM, an overrated quarterback, and not a lot of skill on the defensive side of the ball. The Dolphins are the Dolphins. I mean, they played a great game against the Steelers this weekend, but I think they've also lost to the Titans this year. They almost lost to the Browns. They're a bad football team. The Bengals and Panthers are the surprising ones here. Bengals were an unnecessary roughness penalty away from advancing deep into the playoffs last year, and the Panthers were 15-1 and great. I can't figure out what's happened with the Panthers. Maybe it's Super Bowl hangover. Maybe they haven't been able to get Kelvin Benjamin involved. Maybe it's that Cam, after making a huge step forward, has taken a couple steps back. I am not yet totally writing off the Panthers. I think there will be a 10-win team in the NFC that makes the playoffs. Do they have a 9-1 run in them? Probably not, but I'm not going to write them off entirely yet. All right, barely hanging on. All right, so this is the LA Rams, the Saints, the Bucks, the Lions, Jags, and Titans. Jags and Titans are hanging on purely because of their division. The Lions are hanging on because Stafford's been good this year, but you don't really like too many players on the defensive side of the ball. The Bucks, you're waiting for Jameis to really take that step forward you thought he was going to after his rookie year. If he does that, you see enough playmakers there. Gerald McCoy's great. The Saints still have Drew Brees, who throws for 1,000 yards, it seems like, or at least 400 yards every week. And the Rams, it was weird this weekend. Case Keenum, through 3 quarters, was playing the best game anyone had played in the league all year. And then, he didn't complete another pass. He threw a brutal pick at the end of the game. I don't think Jeff Fisher's very good, but their front four is good. They have a great running back. Keenum, at moments, can be competent, so that they're hanging on by the skin of their teeth. All right. Happy to just make the playoffs. Next tier. These are teams that could make the playoffs, but have no chance at doing real damage. The Cardinals last year were living on what Carson Palmer was able to do. They are not going to be what Carson Palmer was able to do last year, which was an aberration year. That he has regressed, so they have regressed. I do like their running back a lot, but this is not a team that can make a run in the playoffs. Packers, it's shocking to me, but they have been surviving the last 4 or 5 years on the singular greatness of Aaron Rodgers. Not only has he not been great, he's been bad this season. Even with him being great, they're limited because of their lack of talent on defense. Without him being great, they're a first round and out playoff team if they get there. The Giants, I love Odell. They spend a ton of money on defense, not consistent enough to really scare you as far as a playoff run, but they can beat any team in a given week. I know that's cliche, but I do feel that way about the Giants. The Eagles, we're seeing some defenses figure out Carson Wentz, so they're probably not quite as good as we thought. Washington is just okay at everything. They're okay at quarterback. They're okay at defense. They're okay at running back. They're okay at wide receiver. They're not great at anything. And the Ravens confuse me. I didn't know where to put them. I spent like 10 minutes thinking about where to put the Ravens, so I just put them here. I have no analysis on them. I can't figure them out. All right, now teams that actually matter. I call this tier the one fatal flaw tier. Chiefs, Raiders, Texans, Bills. The Chiefs have all the components of a team like, hey, they got a stable of running backs. Justin Houston's coming back. Still have Eric Berry. They have the great corner whose name's now escaping me, even though that's my hometown team. Marcus Cooper. No, they got rid of Marcus Cooper. I'll think of his name in a minute. He's got like 9 interceptions since his rookie year last year. But here's what the fatal flaw with the Chiefs is. Andy Reid and Alex Smith. That combo, if you get down double digits, you're sunk in the playoffs. And if you need a 2-minute drill in the playoffs, you're sunk with Andy Reid. Their fatal flaw is their coach-quarterback combo. Next fatal flaw, the Raiders. You have some great players, but that defense is horrific, especially the back end. You can't stop anybody. And in the AFC playoffs, when you're going to have to either beat Pittsburgh or New England to move on, a defense that bad, you got no shot. I understand this weekend it was tough. It was a monsoon. I get that. But you're not going to be able to, you can't go deep with a defense that bad no matter how good Khalil Mack is. That's their fatal flaw. Texans, Jadeveon Clowney is turning into a monster. They have a very good secondary. Linebacking core, healthiest it's been in years. DeAndre Hopkins is as good of a wide receiver, as good a hands as we have in the league. Will Fuller's an outstanding rookie. Lamar Miller is a really good running back. So what's the problem? Brock Osweiler's terrible. And when I say terrible, I mean maybe one of the 5 or 6 worst quarterbacks in the league. It was a miracle they won Sunday night. They have all the components of a really good football team except for the quarterback, and the quarterback's terrible. That's their fatal flaw. And the Bills, the real question is, do you trust the Tyrod Taylor-Rex Ryan combo? I know they've won 4 in a row. LaShawn McCoy's been outstanding. The defense starting to click. But if you're staring at a playoff game where it's Tyrod and Rex against Brady and Belichick or Tomlin and Big Ben, where are you going? You know where you're going. So those are teams that I think are good teams, but too flawed to win a championship. Now we get on to the championship contenders. Any team on this list absolutely can win the title. The Seattle Seahawks. They are over their Super Bowl hangover. Russell Wilson was amazing at the end of last year. He's starting to build back on that, even despite the injury. They have enough of a rushing attack. Legion of Boom seems as good as ever. The defense is terrifying. The best defense in football once again. With that win over Atlanta, they seem poised to potentially be able to get home field. We know how tough they are in Seattle. They absolutely can win the Super Bowl. Atlanta Falcons. This one shocks me. Absolutely shocks me. But if a call goes their way at the end of that Seahawks game, maybe they only have 1 loss. They have an inside track to a bye. Julio Jones is unguardable. Matt Ryan's playing as well as he's ever played. The defense is doing just enough. Vic Beasley, their first-round pick from last year, is starting to figure the league out at least a little bit. The Falcons can do just enough on defense that with Devontae Freeman at running back, with Julio Jones at wide receiver, that is a very scary offense. They can make a deep playoff run. The Vikings, I don't get it. I don't understand how you can lose your quarterback, your running back, your left tackle. I guess the answer is you have a great coach and a beat-your-ass defense. And that's what they have. It feels the Vikings go into every game telling Sam Bradford, get us to 20, and it's over. They're not asking Sam Bradford to do too much. They choke out the opposing team. They're the only undefeated team left in the sport. I think they'll regress a little bit, but if you're playing a bad weather, if they have home field, that's great. If they don't have home field, it's probably a bad weather situation. In January in the playoffs, that's a scary team. Gun to my head, I can't see a world where Sam Bradford wins a Super Bowl, but I would have said the same thing about a decrepit Peyton Manning last year, and it shows you what I know. Next, can win a title, championship contender, Dallas Cowboys. No doubt about it. Best offensive line in the sport. Defense doing just enough. Ezekiel Elliott right now looks like the best running back. Dak Prescott's only getting better. You have Tony Romo waiting in the wings, and I'd keep him waiting, but if something happens to your quarterback, you're not sunk because you go back to Romo. The Cowboys, they've drafted so well at the top of the draft the last half decade. They're stocked with young, talented players. They're doing this without Dez Bryant, and the Cowboys are a legitimate championship contender. So are the Denver Broncos. Best defense in the AFC. Von Miller, the most singularly impactful defensive player in the league since J.J. Watt's injured. Trevor Siemian, he had a bad game this past week after being injured the week before. If Siemian can play the way he played the first few weeks of the season, you have those Emmanuel Sanders, Demaryius Thomas, great duo of wide receivers, that amazing defense. That team, I thought they punted on their chance to win the title when they got rid of Osweiler and didn't sign a quarterback, didn't draft one super high. That defense is so good, it doesn't matter. They might have the two. I think Pro Football Focus has Aqib Talib and Chris Harris, 1-2 as corners in the league. Not the best combo, but the best corner and the second best corner. TJ Ward playing safety, Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware. That defense just so good. And then finally, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who wants to play Pittsburgh when Big Ben's healthy? Who? They're just going to chuck it deep. Let Antonio Brown run slants. Let Sammy Coates run straight down the field. Le'Veon Bell's great. The backup, D'Angelo Williams, is outstanding. If Big Ben's healthy, that's a scary football team. And the knee injury concerns you, but he's a robot. He's like Steve McNair used to be. You could chop off parts of his body. He'd come back in 2 weeks. So those are your championship contenders. There's one team left. It is in its own tier. It's the just not fair tier. And that's Kristine's New England Patriots. And
music changed too.
Here's why it's just not fair. The 2 tight end offense for them is a cheat code. I know the defense isn't great. Their running back situation's just okay. But if you have 6'5" Rob Gronkowski and 6'6" Martellus Bennett, I'm going to get very nerdy football on you for a moment. 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, 1 running back, okay? Just regular ace formation, ace double tight end formation. It's unguardable because Belichick and Brady are so smart. If you put an extra corner on the field, if you run the nickel so you have a corner on Gronk, then they will just audible to a run. Gronk is a great blocker, Bennett's a monster, and they'll just run it for 4 or 5 yards. If you put the nickel, if you have an extra corner on the field, if you run your base defense, a 4-3 or a 3-4 with 2 corners and 2 safeties, then you have 2 linebackers. You have a linebacker on Bennett and a linebacker on Gronk. Anyone that's ever played Madden knows what the Patriots can do. 2 wide, 2 tight end, 1 running back, and let the defense tell you what you're running. Oh, you're going to run a nickel? Fine. We're going to run the football on you. Oh, you're going to run base? Fine. See if a linebacker can keep up with Gronk on the same play a linebacker can keep up with Bennett. And then they just run the hurry up. If this team stays healthy, you better score 40 to beat them. Because that offense with those 2 Grizzly Bears playing tight end, I don't know what you're going to do about it. I just don't know. So they're the just not fair tier. And by the way, if you looked at the championship contenders, Patriots now, they get the Steelers without Big Ben. They have a very clear path to home field. No team in the NFC has that. Patriots are the overwhelming favorites right now, not just in the AFC, but in the entire league.